Good morning. So activity 11 is going to be almost a activity in note taking would be the best way to kind of describe it. So what you've got, we're going into sort of the microbiology area. So we've moved on from cellular respiration, but we're down at the cellular level now. And then we're going to start talking about what a prokaryote cell is, what a eukaryote cell is. We're also going to talk about viruses, bacteria, fungi, and protozoans. So what you're going to be doing throughout this activity is sort of investigating what do they each look like, how do they reproduce, and then what diseases do they cause. So there's a couple of things under activity 11. So the tour journal, let's open that up. We might as well do both of these in one video because it's kind of a specific note-taking activity. So we'll wait for this one to open. So you're going to do a microorganism summary, and I'll open that. Actually, I might as well. I thought I had that open, but we'll open it here too. 11-2, we're not going to be doing. I'm leaving it in the content area because I might use it in the future, but we're not going to do it right now. And then you've got your learning skills journal. So same format as what you're used to. You're going to make your career connection. You're going to go through some information on the characteristics of living things. So these are just things that you should be aware of for something to be living. It needs to have all of these characteristics. And then I think there's just a couple quick questions. Let's have a look. If my computer ever decides to be convenient. Yeah, just a couple quick reflection questions. So remember, this gets put into the culminating activity area of the course. So you're going to do that for the tour reflection journal. It's a quick one. And then the task itself, what you're going to do is you are given an overview. And on the overview, we've got bacteria, fungi, viruses, and protozoans. So what you need to identify for me is whether the cell is prokaryote or eukaryote. You're just going to identify that in there. You're going to talk about the size, the shape, some important features of each, how they reproduce, how you identify them, and then any other interesting information that stands out. So 2 places to get your information. The content area for this one is actually really good in activity 11. So the bulk of what you need, you can find there. However, so let's look over, like right out the gate, you can see, you automatically get into talking about what a prokaryote is. And then there's a video that distinguishes between a prokaryote and a eukaryote. And then I think you move straight into bacteria. Yeah, which is the first column of your note. It talks about how they reproduce, which is part of what you need to be answering. So one thing that I did find is that the order of things in the content area is a little mixed up. So you might find like it jumped right into bacteria, but it started talking about reproduction right away. So you might find you have to kind of bounce around the areas a little bit to fill your notes in. So the other piece of this is I've actually attached, let me show you where it is. So if you right click here, this is the textbook part that is relative to microorganisms. So if you find it's bouncing around too much in the content area, you will find everything you need there. But if you find it's a little bit bouncy, which I did a little bit, the textbook is kind of nice too. So if you move down a little bit, you get to where it talks about the difference between prokaryote, eukaryote. It gives you some of the key characteristics, which if you look in your chart, it asks you for other information. It tells you which ones are prokaryote and eukaryote right out the gate. And then you go into learning about the different microorganisms specifically. So bacteria, and then, because our chart doesn't cover everything, I'm just going to speak specific to what our chart talks about. Talks about the reproduction of bacteria. And then if you keep going, protozoans, which is in our chart as well, talks about protozoan reproduction. Same thing. Yeah, so you get the idea. Talked about fungi. And then at the very end, it gets into viruses. So it does cover everything that we need in the chart as well. So it's up to you whether you want to use the content area and you're okay with sort of flipping around here, or if you want to use the textbook. I'm happy with you doing either. It's up to you what you find is the easiest place to find the information. So that is it for activity 11. You're going to submit to me this summary. It's going to end up quite large, and you're going to put that into the assignment area of the course under 11-1. There is a rubric attached there that you can have a look at. And you're going to submit to me the tour journal to the culminating task area. So that's all you're doing for activity 11. There was just one thing I thought of I wanted to say. Now I'm drawing a blank. Well, if it comes to me, I'll post another video up. But I think you guys will do quite well on this one. And it really is just an activity in note-taking and pulling out the important features of each of either of these prokaryote or eukaryote microorganisms.